Hello and welcome to jobskillshare.org. In this video, I'm going to talk about how ChatGPT can be extremely useful tool for IT professionals in many ways. Whether you're learning, whether you're doing something practical, or whether you are teaching someone, I mean, you name it, it's going to do that for you. So we will talk about some of the things it can do for IT professionals in a practical example. Especially I'm going to be talking about job skill share members because this channel is about job skill share members, so then they will have to take advantage of it. But anybody who is an IT professionals can also use the same techniques because they do have their public application open to everyone at this point, so you can use it actually, and you can just replicate it the way I'm doing it, but just use your own techniques to build on this video. So the first thing that you notice, I'm showing you images. So back in the days, if I wanted to create a video and I wanted to present something more IT related, I will have to search for these images online in a free websites and then present it over here. But here, look at this. I'm using their kind of like an AI tool where you can just give it terms like IT professional server, and then it creates videos for me. So then I can create more variations on this picture. So just alone, this one feature can tell you how powerful this is. Like if this is the image that I want to use, or this is the image that I want to use, I can create more variations on top of this image. So it's going to go out and then create that for me. So the first thing I want to explain here, as an IT professional, is, I mean, what does it have to do? This is mostly for the training purposes, or let's say you're doing some trainings at company as an IT professionals. We do tutorial for staff members, and sometimes you want to create something more visual. Then this is one example. You can see how it just went out there and start doing things. You can probably play around with this, right? So, but that's not what I'm trying to show too much, because this is for mostly for designing or more creative stuff. So here I'm gonna go to Google first to just show you where ChatGPT is coming from. It's just Google it. The first one, Open AI, is basically the main website, and you can read about it. It's kind of like artificial intelligence combined together with some different languages and models. The whole idea behind this is that it kind of removed the whole Google in between type of searching, and it just gives you immediate results. Okay, it could be something that you ask it and then it will give you the answer based on what are you trying to do with it, or it may give you something more like, you do this for me kind of thing, like, check my resume, correct my grammar. And I'm going to show you why it's so important for IT professionals to get involved with this, because that's where things are going right now. So the first thing you need to do is to go to the website here, and then you can click on try. It's when you click on try, it's going to get you to this, and then of course you need to sign up. You do need your phone number, and then just do that. It's free. So I'm going to go ahead and log in with my account and show it to you. So this is how it looks like. It's super simple, but at the same time super powerful. So my question today, or my video, is about this right here. I'm going to copy paste the whole thing. How ChatGPT can be useful for IT professionals. So let's just ask this question right now. You would be doing the same thing on Google, right? So you have to click on web pages and open it and things like that. Here, look at this. It tells you that technical documentation, ChatGPT can be used to generate technical documentation such as user manuals, installation guides, and troubleshooting instructions. It could be actually used to create things for you. That's number one. Code generation. This is mostly for developers. Of course, it can do a lot of developments and things like that. And it can be used for other things like automation. So automation is things like, right now we're doing that in a IT profession. We need to create scripts and things like that. It can do that for you. So here you see knowledge management, text generation. It can do a lot of these things. But I'm sure you must be thinking like, can you show me some examples, because this is still generic information. So what's the big deal, right? I'm going to show you some examples that's going to blow your mind right now. Are you ready for it? So let's try the first thing. Okay. I want to take this from a learner point of view first, because we have a lot of learners in JSS, and that's why I want to kind of get into that and show you how powerful this can get. So the first thing is that, let's say you want to learn things and you're in some sort of education, and that could be online courses, or that could be Udemy, YouTube, whatever you name it. I'm not trying to say that JSS is the platform you should go and learn IT. Do whatever you can. It's like an open thing for you. But application is free for you. You have it open in one tab, and I'm just gonna go to the Job Skills Share course right now, and so let's say this is your course, Udemy course, YouTube, whatever you can name it, right? So here our member will come over here to my courses, and let's say our member is interested in the first course, which is the modern IT support training, and you come over here and you open the course, which is great, everything is looking great. Now, this is all normal stuff. Like you go to the course, there's a video available there, there's a partner videos, JSS videos. So let's just go to something like, something that you may feel like, okay, like, you know what? I didn't get this whole part of this video. Let's say I starting IT career as a student. Okay. You are going to go over this video and you're going to learn a lot from this video. But let's say you want to take this a little different right now. You want to learn more from ChatGPT because this is your AI instructor sitting there with you now. You could just copy the whole title and just go back here, explain, put a quotation. You don't have to do that, but I like to do that. So I just put a quotation. Starting IT as a student can be a great way to gain experience and build a strong foundation in the field. There are several ways for students to get started. Now, remember this. This is something that you always wanted to ask us in Zoom sessions, career advisory. You call us and we give you all this information. Some of it you probably already know, but imagine if somebody's brand new to IT. Now, for them to go ahead and click on things, wait for professionals to give all these answers are going to be a problem. This is why for us, when we see something like this, it's a big thing because we are using a lot of energy, a lot of time to just give you this simple information, which it just gave you in seconds. Okay, so that's very powerful because it gives you things that is relevant, and that's something that I noticed. It may not be 100% correct, but it's almost every time you ask a question that's technical, and I think 90% of the time I've seen is giving a really good answers. So obtaining certifications such as CompTIA A plus, Cisco CCNA, or Microsoft certified, this stuff right here, it tells you that it helps you. But then of course you can then say, do I have to get CompTIA A plus to get an IT job? So let's go ahead and ask this. Yeah, this is the type of question that usually when people come to us and they ask this on daily basis, because this is where if someone see like this, an answer like this, normally the trend is that a natural thing for a normal person will be like, okay, let me just do CompTIA A plus and get started on that. But not a lot of people know that you don't have to get A plus to get a job. That's just not reality. You can go to bls.gov. I'm not saying that this is a government site and they don't have any requirement like that. And then based on our 10 years of teaching, there's no requirement that you need to get this. But if you have it, then it's good. Nobody's saying that it's bad. So if I say, do I really need CompTIA A plus is widely recognized entry level certification, and having it can demonstrate to employees that you have a strong understanding of fundamentals. So now here's the thing. It also says it is not only a certification or it is not the only right here. It is not the only certification or requirement for the to land an entry level job. So the whole purpose of we telling you that this is a good tool is that it is interactive and it's giving you the information based on how humans are going to give you answers, making things extremely fast and efficient. Okay. Now, of course, after this, it makes your job easy because now you have this much information. You have this much information. You can go even deeper into that. Collectively, when you go and meet an advisor, you can then be more targeted with that advisors now, even in your college. So if you were to spend $5,000 or $10,000 on a boot camp, or let's say a college degree, you could probably come here and make sure that you're prepared ahead, get all this stuff done, and then now ask all of the advisor, and let's see if they're honest to you or not, because then they're going to give you their honest, answers. Maybe they'll say, no, I think this is not a good program for you. Or maybe if they want to make money, they'll just twist it around and just give you something and get that few $1,000s from you, right? So at least this is something like when people come to us, we tell them the same thing. Hey, you don't need to pass A plus certification as long as you go to the interview and say, I am studying for it and the content is for A plus, and maybe in future I will get it because that's something widely known. Maybe yes, maybe no, right? But you still get a job. Nobody's denying a job because you don't have A plus, unless there's a specific requirement by a company, then that's different thing. But mostly it's not. So going back to the learning right now, you see how you have enhanced on top of that 30 minutes video which exactly told you the same thing that you're going to come across over here. But of course, this person is going to be more experienced, more human, working in a company for many, many years. This type of information will be kind of more related to the job and things like that. And this is going to be more journal. So of course, the combination can really help. If things are missing over here, you can kind of go back and fill that with chat gpt. This is now, let's get into more it stuff. Like, okay, you come to this point where it says what is network, then you say what makes a network, layers. So this is where a lot of people would get stuck, right? Like, okay, I don't understand about osi layers. Can this really help me with this? Or maybe I watched this video and I really didn't get this 30 minutes video. Okay, it's great, but I just want to get more stuff, right? So I'm going to say, okay, osi layers explain, just like that, with examples. So look, it's going to do the OSI layers. It goes into that, and then basically it kind of explains the whole framework, and then it goes into breaking down the 7 layers, and it's going to give you the whole 7 layers, and then basically it's going to finish the whole 7. And now it's going to also give me examples with those physical layers and everything like that. You can see it's telling me which one is it. Is it Ethernet, Wi-Fi adapters, modem, blah blah blah, all of that stuff. It's basically giving me all that information right now, as you can see, with examples. Now, I'm going to also tell you that it doesn't just end there. You can actually expand on more. Let's say if you want to learn more about a specific layer, you can expand on that. That is how powerful that is. So expanding, you can just type something like this, explain number, and you put a 7 in there. Examples, I'm just going to put, like, say, S in there, so it gives you more. Explain number 7. So it automatically can go out there and it can pick this application. You look at this right here. It already picked it for you. And remember, guys, it's not that you cannot find this information outside. It's just how quick it's giving you the valid and right information, and not going to different blogs and websites to gather this information. This is somebody who is going to be live training you in IT, and that those sort of things are very, very expensive. If a trainer is sitting in front of you and they cannot even cover this stuff. So now in just few seconds, you can see that you have a whole live trainer in an AI format, giving you some solid information right there, and you can expand on it till you feel like you totally got this. So if you do a Google or YouTube search right now, you will find a bunch of videos, 1 hour, 2 hour, 30 minutes. Our video, people have done all this energy work to just explain all this stuff, and you got that in a few seconds. Okay, I'm not saying that it's gonna overtake a trainer part of it, but if you're smart enough, if you have this, you done from a trainer, you got that human touch, human relation with video, and you just found that, okay, you got that, you learned it that way, and now you want to expand. I think that's the best way to do it. There's nothing wrong with this, and I think you should definitely take advantage of this. And you can do something like, okay, you went to this IP addresses, you found out that, okay, what is a local IP, what is a private IP, and then of course you say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and in my computer, I'm going to search about IP config and find out what is my IP address. So let's just do that right now. So I'm going to open a CMD prompt, and I'm going to type IP config. So you see right here, it says it's giving me this 192.168.179. And let's say you're too new to IP addresses and you're like, okay, you know what? I don't know what this is. So I'm going to go ahead and basically copy this and go here. And then I'm going to type here, what is this IP address? I'm just typing in a very normal language here, right? So let's see what it's going to pick right here. The IP address 162.168 is a private IP address. Now, remember, you learned this from a video, but now you have done some action on your computer, right? And this number is related to your computer. This is not coming from my video or anybody's teaching this stuff. And it's giving you all of this information, telling you what that is just, just think about it. Look at the opportunities that you're getting. Your mind, because as a learner, you're always thinking about these things. And now there is a tool that can help immediately to solve your questions or your scenarios that is going through in your mind. It's just going, giving you all these super examples right here where a trainer is going to sit with you and explain all this stuff. So right here, this is right in front of you. So now, if you want to see more practical examples of like an instructor is doing a ping on this machine in the video, you could do something like this. Like you go to the chat GPT and say, can you show me, or just show me. Don't say you or me. I don't know why I'm doing this. Show example of you know, ping on a google.com. Okay, show example of a ping on Google. Oh, ping is a command line that is used to blah 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 connects and all that kind of stuff. First, it gives you information right here, and then it's going to show you the example. Just let's see at the end, it probably is going to say, okay, here's an example. All right, so let's see if it's going to work. Here's an example. There you go. So now it says right there, ping, and it's even show you like the kind of like the way CMD looks like, right? So you say ping google.com, and then basically it can explain the whole process. And here you go, ping google.com. It is actually pinging, and that's where it's going. Reply. I mean, look, it can't get better than this. I mean, it's not gonna go and open a whole CMD in your computer now. I mean, if that happens, I think we'll just get up and leave. But that can happen one day. One day. You remember like 14, I don't know, 10 years ago, one of our instructor told us that IPv4 is dying out, and the IPv6 is a new thing. And this is 2023. I'm still waiting for that. So don't be worried about your jobs or anything like that. People are, oh, you know what, if it's going to do, if it can do this, then it can just add a user for people in the Active Directory. Well, let's wait for that. That's not the case here. It is making our job easy at this point, our learning easy at this point. So let's be positive about this. Wait, did I just mention Active Directory? Well, let's do an example of an Active Directory. So let's say, for example, you are in this course right now and you are looking at some sort of video where an instructor is showing you how to create an Active Directory account, right? So that's great. Of course, that's visual, but then maybe the instructor is also showing you how to create an Active Directory account through PowerShell script. Now that's where ChatGPT can do some magic. So let's say, for example, you come over here and you open your lab, which again, if you have your virtual machines like a virtual box, then you will be using that. If you're a JSS member and you have a light or premium membership, you have access to a lot of devices. I'm just going to use, let's say, Sandbox, which our light members can also get access. So here you go. I'm going to open this. Now you see you have a practical product, right? This is like machines online, and you have now you want to learn something more advanced now. Okay, can I use ChatGPT to learn something more practical because I have a virtual machines for free at home, or maybe I am using this paid version of JSS, which you get access. So here you go. You turn on all of these machines, and of course, at this point, you are learning from a course where you know what is Active Directory servers and things like that. So I want you to take a note of this technique that I'm using right now. In your lab environment, I'm sure you have named your Active Directory server names like whatever, DC1, computer name 1, lab 1. So in this lab, it's plab DC01 is your Active Directory server where your Active Directory is running. So at this point, you know that from a course learning, and that's something you just know. And then you also know that you have a machine that is connected to Active Directory, which is plab win10. So you know this name as well because this is a Windows 10 machine. That's what it's given over here. So you must be thinking, if I can I connect plab win 101, which is a workgroup machine? So let's verify it one more time. plab 101 is a workgroup machine, right? So something in your mind at that time when you're learning can come up and say, you know what, this is a workgroup machine right here. Actually, this one is not a workgroup machine. This one is plab win 101. I was actually on a wrong machine. So now I can come over here and I can right click, go to systems. There are more easier way to do it, but I'm just showing you from a GUI and very easy for someone who's new. You're just going to come here, system info. And I know, okay, this is on a work group machine. So the point is that if you're learning from our courses and like you or any other courses, and you're like, okay, this is on work group, can I add it to the domain Active Directory, this machine? How would I do it? Right now, of course, when people know, they watched videos, they can Google it, but can ChatGPT help you in this case? So I'm just going to ask it. I have a machine which is the name of that is plab win 101. And how can I add this machine to the plab dc01, which is my Active Directory machine? Let's see if it can just convert that and give me the answer. So let's go back to our AI and how to join plab 101 machine to domain plab dc01. I'm just going to go ahead and enter that, and let's see if it's going to give me the answer right now. You join the machine in this case, even it tells you, because if you put the right name in there, then it will tell you. It makes it easy, right? Like it's not about like hey, wow, I know you put this name in there. It's about This answer picking up on your question like a human, which makes it super powerful. So it tells you on the machine you want to join this PLAB01, open the system properties. So you see right here, it says system properties. Right click on the computer icon on desktop and selecting properties. Okay, click on change settings buttons, and then all of this information. Now you must be wondering, sometimes Windows can change its layouts and things like that, and you're like, okay, how do I open this system properties from command line? So then you can ask it, okay, let's go ahead and how to open system properties using CMD. So let's just try that. And it's going to immediately tell you to open CMD and then type this sysdm cpl, right? So of course there are other ways it's going to tell you to do that too. So I'm just going to stop generating that. What I'm going to do, and it even tells you, okay, what window keys you should be selecting and then opening it up. So you can try that. You see how it's kind of like teaching you some other methods that we need to know as an IT professionals. Usually, sometimes that could be an interview, right? So I can come over here, and this could be an interview. How do you open it from command line? So I'm going to go ahead and open it, put that code in there. Sorry, the command, and there you go. That is what you were looking for, right? Computer name, change, and now you have a domain right here. So it took you. The question is that can you use it for yourself for labbing purpose? Because if there is a exercise in this lab, this is one exercise, let's say, and you're done with this exercise, then there's 100 questions that can pop in your head right now. That how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? Or create a lab for me. So from that, it reminds me, can you tell it to create a lab for me actually? Oh, yes, you can do that. You see how it's getting a little more and more interactive? Okay. Create a lab where I can add users to Active Directory for IT support. I mean, you can just probably like put IT support just so it's focusing on the IT support side. To create a lab where you can add a user to Active Directory for IT support, you will need to set up a domain controller, set up a virtual machine. So what do you have in this lab? And for JSS members, you have Active Directory already. This is an Active Directory right there. You already know what Active Directory is in these servers, right? Okay. It tells you you don't need, you can ignore these machines because you already got machines. How many machines do you have? One, two, three, four machines right there. So two things are covered. You don't need to take stress on that to learn things quickly. Now it tells you create additional VM. You already have machines, right? A workgroup machine. Join the member server to the AD domain. I already shown you through the whole step before I did this, and that's it. Boom! You already did this lab. Okay, so you can even say create practical get practical scenarios for AD lab. It probably correct my spellings in there too. That's another part of it. Like you can really use this for email purposes too, correcting your grammar, correcting a professional answers, all that stuff as an IT professional. We do this all the time, right? We have to talk to CEOs, directors, blah blah blah, send a full email to people, alerts, things like that. Everything can be corrected over here. There's no limit to what can you do with this. Okay, so now it is telling me to do all these things: create a new user, get a new user in ID, assign it an appropriate group, and test that users to you can log in from a server or access such as blah blah blah. So you could create a new user in this whole environment. So I'll say, you know what, give more examples for number one. Okay, now it's going to go say, here are a few more examples for practical scenarios for creating a new user in ID. Create a new user with mail enabled. It has no end. I mean, if you look at it, it has no end for you. If because a lot of people come to me and say, "How can I practice on Active Directory?" I mean, it was always a hard thing because yes, we will say, "Yeah, you go to the practice lab." Then we have tons of labs available out there. Yes, you can definitely try that. But now imagine the possibilities of you having endless amount of labs that you can create. Just stick to one and try to figure it out. If you can figure the first one, if you say, "Okay, show me how to perform number one." Guess what? I'm going to stop this. And then this is going to hear this journal steps to create a new user in Active Directory. So now you not only it's creating questions for you, but it is also creating step by step actions for you. So the question is back to you now. Are you going to do it actually? Right? At the end of the day, if you're not going to go in there and you're not going to do these things, and then this is meaningless. Yeah, I'm just talking here because then, yeah, you can just listen to me. Yeah, this is a cool stuff, but it's not going to do any good stuff to you. It's not gonna be beneficial to you. So a warning over here that you don't also want to go so deep and so into it that you're just trying to figure out one thing that also means nothing to a lot of people outside, because you really need to understand that if you are new to IT, you don't want to get into a lot of technical training into specific things and waste all that time, and then once you land a job and then you realize that none of that is being used. So yes, it's good to become very good and confident, but you need to put some limits to yourself. If you know how to add an Active Directory account, if you know how to reset a password, if you know how it looks like an Active Directory, that's a good confidence. Move on and try to learn something new. Cover the things that is required in resume. So this is enough for you to now know that this is too powerful, but then can it do something more than just this stuff? So, yes, remember, if you're going for interviews, then it can create a full blown quizzes for you, interview questions for you. So, create Active Directory interview questions for IT support. Give me 5 questions. You see, I'm not even using a proper English, and it's gonna fix it. Here are 5 samples of interview questions for IT support related to Active Directory, and this is exactly what we ask people for an interview. None of this is actually not valid question. Most of it is always what we ask people. So it's gonna go all around and say these questions are blah blah blah, and then all that kind of stuff. So you see, it's important to understand that you should put some titling in there, because if you don't do that, then it can go beyond that basics. So if I say, okay, how would I answer, how to answer to, so in just in just 1 5 minutes you can create a whole interview questions for yourself based on what you feel don't confident. If you don't feel too confident around Active Directory, then this could be a perfect solution for someone who's not so good at going out and talking to people. So this can work that out. So but the tip is this, that this goes beyond, this goes too detailed, right? So imagine, remember, in interview you don't have too much time and you don't want to bore people to death by going so deep. So you can shorten it down. You can even tell it to shorten it down for you and then we'll fix it for you, right? So try to find the perfect answer that you can remember, because this is too long. This will not be a good thing for you to spend so much time in interview. So yes, it has this problem that it likes to explain a lot in details, but then you don't need that kind of information for interview purposes. Remember that you're talking to human. You're not talking to a machine like this, right? A human gets bored if they listen. They have to sit there for 5 minutes try to explain. You explain a new object, dialog box, all that kind of stuff. Nobody want to hear that stuff. You need to bring it down, right? So if you are a JSS member, then what do? You go to a lesson chapter, and let's say if chapter is about what is a network, then create a nice, interview questions. Five. Give me 5 interview questions for what is a network. Then say, answer the 5 questions. What is an operating system? Security. Oh, I mean, endless, right? You can create an endless amount of interview questions based on one course. And by the time you get out of that course, you're just like ready. But again, make sure to not lose that focus of 5 is enough. 3 questions are enough per chapter. So you're going to have about a 50, 60 interview questions for one full course. That's enough. You don't need to go 50 questions per chapter. You'll never finish it. Then you're going to have this problem of loop. You're going to be in loop of not getting out something that is not needed. You're going to be always like, oh, something is missing, something is missing, something is missing. And that's what happened to certifications. A lot of people are like, oh, I need to get a certification, I need to get a degree. And then they're like bouncing back and forth because they're unable to give that time, they fail, they're always stuck in that mentality. No, it's not like that. You need to learn these things, go out, go apply, and people will give you chances, because that's how IT entry level jobs work. They just want to know how passionate you are so they can give you these jobs, because these things are very complex now. They're not complex, but there's so much that there's no no start and no end. So you got to find your own ground. Say, you know what, I'm ready for this. I know all this stuff at the basic level, and I can learn. If I can learn this, if I can do these labs like this ones, all these labs, if I can do this, I can do anything. I can learn anything. That's it. That should be the mentality. All right. So now what else can it do? Okay, can it work on your resume? All right, let's go ahead and open an AdT resume project that we are giving people. That, you know what? Okay, if you we're telling people, okay, if you go over these chapters, go ahead and download this resume and tell us how comfortable are you based on this chapter. Oh, I think I need to refresh. So if I come over here and say, okay, you know what? This is a let's say resume project, because we want to test you after 5 chapters. We want to see, okay, how comfortable are you with this resume that you have right here? There's a video, and then there's this download resume. So go ahead and download this resume. So this is our resume, and it's basically telling people that, okay, you know what? If you open this resume, it's gonna be this is gonna be covered in other course, this is going to be covered in a different course, so then our members won't get confused. But let's say this is your resume, and then you want to download and then kind of use that, right? This resume. So you're going to go ahead and download this resume. I'm going to go ahead and just download it, and then open this resume, enable editing. Okay, I'm going to remove these things because this is not going to be good to have there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all. So I remove everything, right? So I'm going to go ahead and kind of like control, copy everything. And then I'm going to go back to my chat GPT, and I'm going to say, fix my resume. Or you can say, find mistakes in this resume. Quotation. I like to put quotation because then, and then come back to make sure that spaces are covered. So I'm not like, getting the limit. So let's see what it can do for us right now. So here are a few mistakes that I noticed in this resume. The summary of the qualification should be in single paragraph, should not have bullet points. The search core trends should have bullet points. In this section, technology proficiency, there is no heading for each blah, blah, blah. Desktop application section, it's missing a heading and it should be listed under desktop application section. In the ticketing system section, it is missing a heading and it should be, so some of it probably is not like something that it's right, because not everything can have headings, and skills can have headings. But the question is, like, maybe it will find grammatical mistakes, maybe it may find some other mistakes that you may notice. So it is going out there and kind of doing its thing. You can see right here the IT certification skills development section. It's missing the year of completion. So yeah, that's probably it is. So it's worth noting that resume should be well organized. So the thing is this, that maybe you will find something in your resume format that it may fix it. So document can be also fixed. But then, of course, what you can do is, a lot of people get stuck over here where they go to here. Can you um, rewrite this, right, professionally? So you can say that rewrite this for me. I like to do this me type of thing. I don't know if it understand that, but anyways. So you see, as a result-oriented and adaptable IT professional with a track record. So you see, it changed it. It changed the way. Maybe something. Maybe you're looking at this and like, you know what? This doesn't look good, man. I need to change this. Here you go. You can play around with multiple variations where you feel that this is the perfect. Now, again, this also leads you to those emails, conversation, telling somebody a professional email. Make it professional. Make it grammatical. Hey, this could resolve an issues for so many professionals like me who came from different countries to US, or where English is being spoken as a first language, and then we struggle in the beginning for many, many years. We cannot even speak. Okay, we have a hard time speaking. You can understand that I have accent, but imagine when I'm writing, I'm gonna have so many issues. That hits our confidence. So this could be a great tool for anybody having issues with like grammar stuff. So the possibilities are endless. It's up to you. How do you want to use it? With the warning that don't go too deep if you have a target. If your target is JSS course to finish as a member, you need to finish this course, because at the end of the day, you need to get into these modules and you need to watch these videos, and then you need to actually perform the labs. You need to come over here and you need to finish these labs hands on, and that's what matters to us. Not because you know how to use chat gpt. That's not going to do any good. That what matters to us is your technical confidence. Have you done your lab? Whether you're using free courses from us from YouTube or anything, have you done this in VirtualBox? Have you did all this? Did you develop a patience to go over this document step by step? Then you will become a proper IT professional. By getting ChatGPT is going to help you a lot with your knowledge, but that's not going to do any good with you becoming technical and confident. You will only become confident when you actually open and spin up all these machines, break it, make it, fix it, play around with it. Then you will be more technical and confident, and you can really, really go to some heights in IT. And I mean, we love IT career for a reason, right? Because it's so good. And that's what you are going to get too. Thank you so much. I hope you guys like this video. If you think that you need to add something more to this, make sure to tell me in the comments section, because what we are doing, we're also testing ChatGPT as our own chat, or our own box in JSS. So we will be presenting that very soon. So then not only you can use a public version, but you as a member will be able to use our own model that we will design and kind of like make it ready for our members. We will do that at some point. Thank